So I was talking to one of my colleagues, and he was telling me about a time when he used to preach. He was a pastor, and the conversation kind of went along the lines of maybe feeling like you're out of place, or the things that are inside of you because of your experiences when you get ready to share them, or the way that you share them, the words that you use, your mannerisms, so many different things about your personality will come out based on your background. So regardless of your intellect or degrees, still you'll have a way of explaining things, and it just may not be for everybody. So he was telling me a story about a parishioner that felt like more than one time after service, like, did you really have to say things the way that you said them? Meaning, he told a story about, someone that he knew and the choices that that person made back then, and the lifestyle that they were in, and how, eventually it led that person down the wrong road, and they had got shot and killed. But instead of saying they got shot and killed, he said, and such blew their brains out. So someone in the church was like really, upset and offended by the words, blew his brains out. Like, my grandkids were here. Could have just said he got shot. So then on another occasion, while he was doing his sermon, he was sharing a story about someone that had a bumper sticker on the back of their car, and it said, "Honk if you love Jesus." So somebody honked the horn at them, and then they flipped them off and gave them the bird. So then the same member came up to him after church and was like, basically, in a nutshell, what is this? Every time my grandkids are here, you got another way of putting something, and now I got to go home and explain to them what it means to shoot somebody the bird. I don't know why I found it hilarious. Like, hilarious. I'm not sure. Maybe you can relate or not, but I'm the kind of person I can hear a thing, hear a word, and then like 5, 6, whatever amount of just spontaneous ways of seeing it pop in my mind. So the more I thought about it, though it was hilarious, it made me think she forgot that she put the sticker on the back of the car that requested, basically, if you down with me, if you love what I love, if you love this thing, then please give it a honk. And then when she got what she asked for, she cursed it. She blew it off. It started to make me wonder, how many things have you planted a seed, sat on the side, made your petition, put out your prayer, and forgot that it was there? And while you still thought you were waiting for it, it might have already come and you didn't see it for what it was, so you cursed it. See, when Jesus cursed the tree, it was because it looked all dressed up like it had fruit, got him to go all the way out of his way, like he was about to get something he wasn't going to get. And when he got up on it, he wasn't feeling that. He'd rather you look like you have no fruit than to pretend you got fruit that you don't have. But it really started to make me wonder, have you worked on the way that you see things, on your perception? Are you taking blessings and calling them curses, and taking curses and calling them blessings? I know that I found that I was, and even with all the work I was doing on the inside and all the curses that I've broken, still, like, it took me to go away on a trip, have a flat tire. You know how when you feel like you're gonna complain about something, a lot of times I might say it, and I'm not gonna take the time to write a letter or whatever. And I got all the way back from this trip, And I was just thinking that the person that fixed my tire, they tried to get over on me. And I was thinking, oh no. And my friend said, are we still going to do the Yelp review? I wouldn't know how to do it if I began, but I'm sure she did. So I was thinking, you know what? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it hit me. Because I had recently heard, like, there's still some things that may not be manifesting because of my perception. Meaning, what's the point in getting something that you can't keep because you don't know that you got it, or you don't know that it's a blessing, or you don't know that it was sent in good energy, in good spirit, for your good, whether it felt good or not. But I'm not even talking about gifts that are wrapped in sandpaper, like my sister was saying. But I'm saying, like, it's okay to examine yourself. That's what life is about. And you're not going to always get it right. But what you can always get it is honest. Right? You can always be honest. If you have nothing else, you should be able to have your integrity. Procrastination is free, but it doesn't pay the bills. I was sitting around in my clothes for hours because I need to do this video. And I guess it won't get easy until I just keep doing it. And maybe it'll just never be easy. Maybe it'll never feel comfortable. I really don't know. But I do know I can't run from it. I can't run from it, not anymore. Don't be afraid to change. Seriously. If someone says something that you don't like about you, first, it may not even be true. So you gotta look at that. You gotta look at the source. But if it really, really bothers you to even hear it, like if you get so offended, you can't even begin to imagine why this person would say X, Y, and Z. And once again, it depends on what it is. It might not be a bad idea to just take a look and make sure. What's the worst that could happen? Because I would rather know than not know. I mean, that G.I. Joe thing stuck with me. Knowing is half the battle. Yeah, because you can't change anything that you don't know about. You don't even know it need to be changed. And if it's something that I would never want to be, no matter how hard it would be not to be that thing, I would still rather know than pretend that it's not true. When I was like probably in my mid-20s, one day my mother said to me, I don't know how you have friends. You're so this, you're so that. I don't even know how you have friends, this, that, and next thing. Oh, I felt so bad. Like, oh my God, I must be a horrible person. I mean, my mother said she didn't even know how I have any friends. So then I went and I took a survey of the friends that I had. And I asked them how they felt about our friendship. And they were fine. So then one day we're in the kitchen and she was cooking. And I guess, I was on the phone with a friend. Now, that was back when phones still had wires and hung on walls. And let me see, were cell phones out there? No, they might have been created, but they still big, huge things that look like them satellite phones. Yeah. But anyway, she overheard the conversation I was having with one of my girlfriends. And when I got off the phone, she said, oh, I don't know how you got friends. Because they just like you. Well, hey, whatever. So, hey, listen. Different strokes for different folks. So, maybe you need to change your circle. Don't take advice from people you wouldn't trade places with. Don't be so stuck on any idea that you would rather hold on to it and die than to let go of it and live, just so you can remain, quote unquote, what you think is right. Think about it. Question it. Wonder why you do some of the things you do the way you do them. Is it really you, or is it the way that you were trained, or the way you were raised, or is it the ideal that you have? Is it the lack of some knowledge you may have? Like, what really fuels you? What's your purpose? Who did you come to help? Who were you created to be? Who were you before somebody else told you you weren't valuable? How did you feel when you thought that you were loved unconditionally? How did you feel when you knew you were special, when you were unique? When there's only one you. DNA proves it. Fingerprints prove it. There's only one exactly like you. Even identical twins don't have the same fingerprints. What did that look like before somebody else told you the way that they thought it should look? What did that feel like? What joy was that? Before someone took their venom and put it in a syringe and tried to OD you. Yeah. Don't be afraid to change the way you see things. It can change your life. It can save your life. It can make life feel worth living. It's worth a try. It can't be worse than the hell you've been in. It just can't. If things are so bad that you can't help but to look up, then let's go ahead and start looking up. Because if we could look up, we can get up. I remember I used to sing in a choir, and when I used to sing, I'd be looking up in the air. And one time, the choir director was like, oh, what are you looking at? Like, call me out in front of the choir. Go figure the things that go on in church. Anyway, ain't nothing up there. That should have been an indicator. I probably should have left. What are you looking up there for? Ain't nothing up there. You need to look at the people. I ain't even gonna begin to break that down, but I will say, don't take for granted that because you esteem people to be on a certain level, that they're really on that level. A lot of times when something don't sound right, it's because it's not right. And it doesn't matter what it's coming out of. If it ain't right, it ain't right. And if it's not right, then it's quite possibly it must be wrong. But either way, even if we're not dealing in right and wrongs, what works for you? That's important. What works for you? Because something may work for somebody else, then let them have that. But don't let them make you feel like you're less than because you don't see it that way, because that's not what you want for you, because you don't feel good in that circumstance. You gotta do what helps you be better. You have to do what helps you feel better. Can you will feel better? It's a greater chance you're gonna do better. And while you're learning to love and forgive yourself, please give some of that to your kids if you have kids. It's extremely important to reverse any damage that's already done and to stop any that hasn't been done yet. It's crucial. And if you have to change their childhood so that you could sleep better, so that you could feel better about you, there's no judgment. We've all done stuff. But don't stay there. When you know better, you can do better, because no one is half the battle. And then the other half is doing it, finding the help, finding someone to talk to. There's so much hope. There's so much hope. We can have so much hope, even in hopeless situations. And I know that if he's doing it for me, it's no way it can't be done for you. It's no way. It's just no way. I love you.